All right, it's Inside the NBA presented by Kia, live from Studio J here in Atlanta. Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet Smith, and subbing for Shaquille O'Neal tonight, Lisa Leslie. And allowing 89 points a game allows only 83 to Memphis. And the other night they beat Milwaukee and allowed just 70. So that defensive blanket that San Antonio is throwing on folks in full effect. They're 16-4. You've brought us out to the court here to talk about Tim Duncan. And, yes. I'm looking at Tim's numbers. 6 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists on the night.
Well, yeah, it's an all-around game, and how can he survive at being this age? And we were talking in the back. It's like he might be able to play 2 more years if he's playing that way.
But there's a reason he's playing like that. You know,
and now I'm explaining it, but go ahead.
You can compare. Look at the situation that Tim Duncan is in compared to Kobe Bryant. The Spurs are the best organization. They're the Patriots of the NBA. You got Tony Parker, who's an all-star point guard. You got Kawhi Leonard, who's going to be a superstar. And now you got LaMarcus Aldridge. And you look at Kobe Bryant. Tim Duncan can play and get 6 points, and they still win by 20. And Kobe Bryant does not have that luxury because the Lakers have been an awful organization.
Hey, watch it now. They're not an awful organization, but he doesn't have as much manpower to help support him. So his 13 or 14 points look terrible for Kobe.
Because they're not drafting guys to help him.
So you're thinking they should have took Okafor? You think he would have been a better help this year?
Oh, probably, yes, no question. Even though the young kid, and let me say something to you, Mr. Okafor. You're a young kid. He's 19 years old. He said, I made some bad decisions. Got to get the kid a break because he's 19, but he's got to make smarter decisions. I'm glad that the Sixers are getting him some security because he's 19 years old.
Right.
And all these people, fans and media types are killing this kid. We're all stupid at 19.
Yeah,
and we were not all rich and famous at 19. So, yeah, he's made some mistakes, but let's don't bury the kid.
Yeah, the one thing, you're 100% right. Everybody makes mistakes, but Mr. Okafor,
slow down.
You become a repeat offender, then you're a bad guy. Right now, you're just a good guy who made a bad mistake.
But let me just say about Okafor, because this is my brother, after I pop him upside his head, I would say, where are his friends? Like, where are the homies that say...
Oh, they was fighting
that
too.
Get him? I know, but it was just a bad situation all around, because when you think about out of all the people in the street fighting, who has the most to lose?
Yes.
He had the most to lose.
Yeah, but at 19, you don't know that.
Yeah, you do. You don't know that when
19 friends who aren't in the NBA, they really don't know it. And this is you can be an offender.
We're in a different time.
You cannot be in a repeat offender.
Kenny, we're in a different time era where you don't understand the consequences of the cameras. There's video everywhere.
But you got to understand, Lisa, he's only been in the NBA a month.
But you've been in the world you've seen what has happened. I just feel like history keeps repeating itself, and young men have this opportunity to keep making these same mistakes, whereas you can't learn from someone else's mistake and recognize this is the wrong thing to do.
You should. But like I say, and I thought Coach K had a great press conference talking about saying what an amazing kid he was. He's done some dumb things. But listen, we are in a different time.
Yeah.
Everybody has a video camera. But the biggest problem I have with the NBA today, like, I looked at, the oldest guy on his team who's actually playing the game is 23.
Right. So there's no veteran.
There's no veteran
leadership.
He doesn't have a Moses Malone. You know, Reggie talked about the late, great Mel Daniels. You know, Kenny he got coached by one of my most famous people I love in the world, Bill Russell. And Kenny always tell this story when Bill Russell coached him in Sacramento. He says Kenny was going to the back of the bus.
He said, no, you can't sit back there.
You can't sit back there.
No.
Tell him what he said.
You know, you can't sit back there because see all those guys, him, right in their face. They're losers. They're perennial losers.
There you go.
So you'll never learn how to win if you sit back there with them. Yep. So sit next to me.
All right.
I love that. That's the greatest Bill Russell story.
Let's move on now.
We got time? Okay.
Oh, it's all basketball.
All right. Ernie, you're going to be Tony Parker. I'm going to be Tim Duncan.
All right.
I'll let you have the
basketball.
Oh, he's going to.
You Tim Duncan?
I'm going to be Tim Duncan. You're going to be Kawhi Leonard because you're the best player on the team.
Okay, right.
You're the best player on the team. You just be a Spur. All right? So you coming down.
Kawhi, am I on the wing?
So Ernie's bringing the ball up court, and Tim Duncan is typically the last guy down. So he's bringing it up on the right side, walking it up. Tim is trailing the play. Now, Tim has two options. He usually is the catch and swing guy, or if you keep your dribble alive, Tony, he's going to set up pick and roll for you. You come off the sick pick and roll, because this keeps Tim Duncan from all the abuse of getting knocked around. So now his man pretty much helps. You throw it over to Kawhi Leonard. Now I'm posting up. And if I like it in there, if I'm not there, I get it, and then I could have it and make some moves. But if I don't like it, Kawhi just waves me out. So you wave me out, and then all of a sudden, I come back as I'm Tim Duncan, right back to the top, and I become another ball reversal. So he's never getting beat up going around. He passes again, and he throws it to that other Spur, whoever it is. Now I come back, and then the shot clock's coming down. I might have an easier post move into place. But Pop does a great job of making him a ball reversal guy. He brings him into a pick and roll. He posts him up. All in one possession. Typically on every NBA team, guys, even you guys are the greatest post-up players in your sport. Typically, you're going to post up on one play and that's it. You're not posting, ball reversal, and setting pick and roll in one possession.
Kenny. I think that the best type of movement when they play in this motion, the reason why the Spurs are so consistently great is because it's all about defense and reads. They're reading the defense. And the fact that you're saying Timmy can start low, he can go high just to move the defense. Is that post player going to help out on Parker, or are they going to stay back? If they help out, he's going to roll inside. The beautiful thing about the Spurs is that they're always moving without the ball, and the ball finds the open player.
Without question.
You said more smart stuff about basketball than Shaq has said in 3 years.
I think that was uncalled for. You know, this team is playing better than I thought they would. They are now 11-6, Chuckster.
You know, they have been the two surprise teams. Well, I don't think it's a surprise. I picked them in the top 4. The surprise team in the East has been the Indiana Pacers.
Right.
Frank Vogel got those guys playing great. But this team here, they're missing Luol Deng right now. They're the one team that you said could slip into that top 4 in the Eastern Conference. I think, and I've said all along, the key to them is going to be Whiteside, because he can dominate the game on offense and defense. D-Wade's going to play well. Bosh is going to play well. Dragic is going to play well. But the one guy who can make them scary is Hassan Whiteside.
I don't think it's Whiteside. I think it's Dragic. I think he's the most important, the X factor, if you will, because remember how great he played at Phoenix. He has not played that great for Miami Heat. The pick and rolls he used to be so effective on. And I think health, number one, is going to be key for Miami. If they can stay healthy when it comes playoff times, I definitely think they have all the pieces with the veterans, new players, and experience, and all of those things coming together. I think that's what's going to help.
Good point. Dragic is important, but I'm saying as far as this guy can go out and get a triple-double. He can get you 20 points. He can get you 15 rebounds.
Rim protection.
He's averaging close to 5 block shots a game. He don't even have to really get any plays called for him. He can get 10 to 15 rebounds a night, block 5 shots a night. He can dominate the game without even scoring.
Well, you know, he did a great job, but, you know, we'll talk about OKC as well. You know, their inability to kind of pull away in key moments and their lack of ball movement is still the same consistent issue under Scott Brooks, under now Billy Donovan. It's kind of the same routine. And the one thing that I think that will separate them is, you know, they need to adapt what Golden State, what we saw San Antonio does, is allow the ball to leave your best player's hand. And trust that it will find them again. But it doesn't seem like they allow the ball to leave their hands enough to trust that it'll come back.
38 lead changes, 11 ties in that game. It was a dandy, and Miami comes out on top by 2. When we come back, more highlights. That's 5 straight wins for the Orlando Magic. They are 11-8. Second straight loss for the Jazz, and it happens at home. When we come back, my conversation with Kobe.
Chuck, I think you should do something about that hair.
The exit interview. Players have them every year, meeting with the head coach to honestly assess the good and the bad of the just completed season. With Kobe Bryant announcing over the weekend that he will call it a career at season's end, I had a chance today to conduct an exit interview of sorts. Kobe's reflections on an unforgettable 20-year run. That was a fun time. He was, he's totally at peace with this decision that this is it, that 20 years is enough.
Well, your body gives out. 20 years is enough. The thing that's interesting to me, you know, and people always want to ask you about certain players. I've watched a couple of Kobe's interviews. That one, obviously, I'm glad he's finally letting people know he is a good guy. Because people always want, I says, Kobe Bryant has always treated me great. Always says hello, I say hello, but I don't know him. Never really spent any quality time. I says, he seems like a good guy, but he is so guarded. And I saw him do that with you. Like I say, he's obviously one of the 10 greatest players ever, but I wish he had let people get to know him better the last 20 years.
Oh, well, you know him.
I know him very well. I've spent time at Kobe's house with his parents when they first moved to LA. But the thing I can tell you, Charles, of why he's guarded is because you don't want people to know your weaknesses. And your weaknesses are sometimes personal things, whether it's your ability to communicate or not communicate. And the fact that he was so driven and focused on basketball was his true love and passion. And I was kind of the same type of player where it's tough for me to let down my guard and let you see me be silly, let you see me be something that I thought you could use against me when you're on the court. And I think Kobe was that same way, very guarded. Kobe has always been a great guy, funny, he loves to laugh, outgoing, but very guarded because that was part of his, you know, if you will, the thing that made you wonder, what about him? Where is his weakness? He didn't have any because he loved basketball so much that he was trying to find ways to beat you. But the hard part that I see right now, I love the fact that he's being transparent and honest and letting you know he wished he could have had that relationship different with Shaq, because we all saw it go bad and thought, wow, what could have happened if he would have won more? For him to even tell you who the best defenders were for him, Kobe would have never let you know who bothered him back in the day playing defense. He was like, there's no such thing as a Kobe stopper. That would have been his answers 3, 4, 5 years ago. And the last thing I like to say is just the maturation that he's had in life. I mean, we've seen Kobe come in as a young kid, and he had a chip on his shoulder, and he had all this confidence that you thought, and we all saw it was even cocky, where you thought, you know, man, I don't really like this dude. But you always could say, as a competitor, he was one of the best.
I don't know him well, but I have spent twice pretty much quality time. That I think you missed the date, the time he came in here, and he was a guest in here, and he spent 3, 4 hours.
Oh, we had a great time.
Yeah. So you get to. I'm like, I might not get this opportunity. I'm picking his brain. And the second time was when during the Hurricane Katrina game, and I called him to ask him to play in the game. And then I've been around Jordan because we played together in North Carolina, and the competitive nature that he had, Michael had, and you always say, how do you compare it? The one thing I remember, this is a charity basketball game for Hurricane Katrina. And we're going around and we're giving out all of the different items to the shelters, and we're all there. So all of the players get back in the van. You know, Kevin Garnett, LeBron James, you know, Kobe. Us is the best player in the world. I'm like, hey guys, you know, so I appreciate everything. Kobe gets up. He said, hold on. I just want you to know, I'm gonna bust your butt if you don't come play tonight. This was a charity game for Hurricane. We just gave out. He had just changed his whole demeanor and got focused. And you talk about that guard, to let them know that I'm still the alpha dog on this bus.
Always.
And letting people know that. To me, it was a couple things that just make you go, he's different.
Yeah. It's been an honor.
Different.
It's been an honor and a privilege to watch him play.
Without question.
It's been an honor and a privilege.
When we come back, Shaq is not here.
Thank God.
But Shaq and a fool is. How do we pull that off? Stick around and you'll find out. Does that impress the Chuckster? Do you know what you just saw?
What the hell was that?
I don't get it. It's like the new millennials in this time. Tell me, Leslie, like, what was that
and
about?
I love Bleacher Report.
You sounded more like a mother of two with every segment.
I know. I'm so out of the loop. 50 million views on that?
No, there were 50 million views when Daniel Radcliffe did the other one on Fallon.
Right.
The original alphabet.
So like all day I be seeing these dogs
everything's
eating.
Everything followed the alphabets in order?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Every rapper in the 1980s, I think, did something like that.
All right.
I'm just saying.
And that's a hit, because I never heard Jay-Z do the, alphabet
Well, he
rap.
did 22 twos, so it's almost the same kind.
Well, I did that.
101 problems.
I missed that one.
Okay, well, now, Shaquille O'Neal is not here. Lisa Leslie is. But the guy responsible for Shaq and a Fool this week I guess would be you, Jet. You're handling Shaq and a fool?
Yeah, I'm going to handle Shaq and a fool because, Shaq is a fool, and I just want to keep him in his place as a fool.
All right. Great.
Oh,
that
no,
block
Shaq thought I'd
shot.
be up all night.
That block shot was
All
it.
that sugar.
That was excellent. That was excellent work. I thought maybe you were going to do your Shaq voice and try to.
Well, I do. Just give the ball to big man.
Look at Carmelo.
I don't understand why Dwight Howard can't get 30 points and 35 rebounds.
Just get the ball to your big man. Let him dominate.
Hell no.
Don't say hack a Shaq.
No, don't say hack a shit. Don't say hack. Just say hack a player. I hit mine when it count.
And then do this.
No, but also.
Hey, wait.
Call me Dr. O'Neal.
No, championships.
I got 12 degrees.
I got 12
Rings.
championships.
We'll be back to wrap it up on Inside
Got them
in just a
rings.
minute. There's still some more show to go. Don't leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish it right
You can
there.
leave in a little while, but not yet.
Sometimes Aaron's staying with us.
Who's Mariano Rivera?
Just real.
Chuck, I'm going to come over there.
You're not gonna have me back.
No, we got to have you back if they saying that.
It's been great.
Thanks,
Thanks a
guys.
lot.
Great.
Big thanks to Chuck.
This is a wrap
Good
for
seeing you all.
Inside, presented by Kia. For Kenny, for Charles, for Lisa Leslie.
There was some
Ernie
tweets
Johnson.
saying that she was better than you too, Ernie.
Good night.
There's some
From
tweets
Atlanta.
that she's better than you. Keep it open. Like it was just us.